All right, as fast as possible. I'm Damiano. I am making my very first YouTube videos. I am going to be making videos about being a new dad and being a realtor. We're going to be making videos in our community. I grew up in Talmadge. I worked in Springfield Township as a police officer for a long time, and I live in Jackson Township. All right, if you know anybody else that wants to talk about the election before the election, give me a call at 330-289-2992, 330-289-2992. All right, thanks. To the video. To the video. Chad,
Damiano.
thank you so much for coming
Sir,
down.
yes, sir. Thank you.
My name is Damiano. I'm a local realtor in the Springfield Township area. I'm here with Chad Lance, who is running to be on the school board
Yes.
for Springfield Schools.
Yep.
I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about your resume and
Yeah.
what experiences and skills you can bring to the school board.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Appreciate it. First off, thank you for having me. Great opportunity to get some ideas and thoughts out there, get some more people to see it and hear what I want to offer and what I can offer to the school board and the district. So, graduated from the University of Akron with a degree in accounting. So been around numbers and been around finance and accounting for going on 20 plus years now.
So pretty experienced in accounting then.
Yeah, for the most part. Now, yes, been in different areas of it, but been in the finance, the accounting world for counting school 20 plus years now. So, had a couple, financial analyst positions, which financial analysts can kind of encompass many different things in finance, but a lot of budget work, a lot of different things. We're working with numbers here. So, been around it for quite a while. I was actually for 7 years. I was on the Village of Lakemore Council. My wife and I bought back in 2005, and so we have been in the district for 20 years. We did move out of the village into the township, but again, been in the district for 20 going on 20 plus years now. So I was on the Village Council for 7 years. When I was on there, was dealing with fiscal watch for the village, the same that the school is in right now. The village was in there and really worked for the 7 years I was on, which the only reason I resigned was because we moved out of the village. So when you don't live in the village, you can't be on the council.
Right.
So when we moved out, had to resign. But during those 7 years, worked to get the village out of fiscal emergency, out of fiscal watch, to where we didn't have the state breathing down our necks, basically telling us what to do. We were able to get things back to in control by the village, which was a huge accomplishment. Worked with Mayor Justice when I was there, and others that were on the council and in the village, and a lot to do, a lot to deal with. I think village council has a bit more to do with the daily things than the school board, but that was 7 years there with the village.
So specifically with accounting and then helping the Village of Lakemore
Mhm.
with their fiscal emergency, you do bring something kind of unique to the table because our district has had traditionally had financial problems.
They didn't grow up here, like I said, didn't grow up here, but have been in the district for 20 years now. And even during these 20 years, and I've heard stories before that, a lot of valleys and a lot of highs and lows, with the district financially. Those are things that you have to fight through when you get to those situations. Talk a little bit later. I want to talk about the levies, but we haven't had new money in the district for 25 years. So that, hey, work on a budget from the year 2000 and tell me how far you can get. Take that same budget then and tell me how far you can get now. I mean, even the value menu at Taco Bell, McDonald's isn't dollar menus anymore. Like those are $1.50, $2. Like everything has increased and grown, and it's becoming, it's hard for the district right now because they have not had new money for 20 plus years, almost 25 years now.
Extraordinary challenge.
Yes.
We need enough money to not just run the district, but we need the money for our kids to thrive. We
Yeah.
need to be able to hire good people.
Yep.
We need to be able to hire people that are going to stay in the district for a long time. It's a massive, massive challenge.
And we have a lot of long-term employees in the district right now, but if they've already been long-term employees, they're getting closer to that retirement, golden age, golden years. We're going to have some retirements coming up, and we need
A
to,
lot.
with the rifts, the cuts that we had to make. I guess step back a little bit. I was on the school board previously for 2 years. I came on in 2019 in kind of a little bit of the start of the fiscal problems, and then COVID hit. So my 2 years in that appointed position were probably two of the toughest. I would probably approach and say probably two of the toughest years anybody could have on a board or a council or whatever. Very tough time. Very lot to handle there. A lot that we had to deal with that you don't usually have to deal with.
Well, and I want to point out it was amazing what Springfield specifically did during COVID. I think Springfield schools rose to the occasion a lot better than a lot of the other schools in the area. We opened when
Yes.
everybody else was closed.
Yes, we did. And yes, we did. And that was one thing. So March, COVID hit. Governor DeWine comes down and basically federal, state, whoever it was, came down and said, we're shutting it down. Everybody go home for a week. Okay, we'll figure this out. Everybody, do a little homeschool, work on the Chromebook, this and that for the kids, and parents are working from home. And then it was 2 weeks, and then it was a month, and then it's, well, we're not going back the rest of this school year for the 2020 school year. And it's like, okay, this is a little bit more serious than than what everyone was thinking. Like, oh yeah, we'll be home for a week and we'll be back to normal. And we never got there. It took a long time to get back there. And over that summer heading into the 2020-2021 school year, that was the toughest decisions I had to make on the board, and probably even back on council for 7 years on council as well. When we shut down in March, it was mandated. And during that summer, there was no mandates. A lot of recommendations, we suggest you do this. Again, no mandates coming down. So the county and the state basically came down and said, school districts, come up with your own plan. Okay. We had got to a point where this was early in the summer and things changed as the summer went on. We were going to go full virtual, everybody at home. Well, do you have enough devices for all the kids to work at home? Some houses have 3-4 kids. You need 3-4 devices because you can't share a device even between two kids because they're in class at the same time. They're in different classes. You can't just share a device. So we had a lot of those issues. And as the summer went on, a lot of things we were hearing from the county. I know one thing I had heard, and one of my arguments for this was we had very very low cases in Summit County. Springfield district specifically was even lower. We were very low on cases, which I props out to the parents, to the teachers, to everybody that lives in the district. You were doing what was needed at that time. It wasn't fun, but we were doing it, and that showed, I think, in the cases, the low number of cases.
Well, I thought it was really interesting that, at that time, you didn't say you must go back to school, and you did not say you must stay home and go on.
We were there. We were there at the must. We were at the must online, and then again, as the summer went on, we heard different things. We saw different numbers. Again, the low cases, and we got to a point where we, as a board, started discussing either full virtual, full in person, a hybrid plan. I myself shot down right from the beginning, because to put on a parent to say your kids are going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, your other kids might go Tuesday, you can't break that up. That's even harder on the parents. And that was my fight. That was my argument, my stance on starting that 2020-2021 school year. I wanted the parents to decide. I wanted them to choose what was best for their child, their children, their situation working. A single parent household that they have to work to support the kids. They can't be at home. They may not have a job where they can work from home. So I really fought for that. I pushed and I fought, and I voiced my opinion very much so, that I wanted the parents to have that choice. And we got down to, we were at a 2-2 deadlock on the board out of 5. And the fifth one was kind of, they saw both sides of it. The 4 that had picked their 2 sides, they were pretty staunchly on those sides. And again, voice my case that you have to let the parents choose. We weren't mandated that we had to be virtual. We weren't mandated we had to be in person. It was the districts make up your plan, and that's what we did. And I fought and I pleaded my case. And I was able to get that third one to flip to what we did. What we started that school year with was either 5 days in person or 5 days virtual. And you stuck with that. I think we were going to stick with that for 9 weeks. There was no flip flopping in between. Um,
Well, I'll tell you what, I worked for the school
you did. I
for
remember that.
2021 20 school year,
Yes.
and I was the school resource officer for Young,
Mm-hmm.
Spring Hill, and Shrub.
Yep.
And we had a lot of kids that were online. We
Yes.
had a lot of kids that were in the building,
Mm-hmm.
and I was driving all over the place, visiting a lot of homes.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, the thing that really stuck with me from that year was there are a lot of kids in our district that have a tough home life.
Yes. Very
And
much so.
being able to be in that building, being able to be at school is a blessing. And I didn't know until I was going to all their homes.
It's tough.
So I'll tell you what, I appreciate that you fought to get them back in the building. For the ones that wanted to be there, the families that needed the school to be there for them, it was huge.
I appreciate that, and it was a tough fight. It was a tough. We had 3-4 hour meetings with the board. We were just hashing it out. We were saying why this, why not that one. Well, who agreed with what we wanted to do, and again, I just every person, every student, every family, every situation has its own little wrinkle. Every situation is a little bit different. There were kids that if we forced them to be at home for everybody was virtual, some of those kids may not have had meals. And opening up the schools again, those kids were back in school. They were getting their breakfast. And at that point, it was free breakfast and lunch, which we've now been able to continue that for the schools with a couple grants. All our kids have free breakfast and lunch right now. And that is wonderful because there are kids that don't get those meals at home and they leave on Friday and they may have a meal or two for the weekend until they get back on Monday. And again, I wanted the families to make the decision for what was right for them because it wasn't just the school situation. It was parents working. It was parents trying to figure out those jobs. I was fortunate enough that I had a job where I could work from home and I was able to help the kids with things. I mean, I remember thinking back, like I walked by my first grader Henry's room in first grade, and he's listening to the teachers talk about checking your email and checking Google Classrooms, and I'm like, as a first grader, that's what they're having to worry about. It was just such a different time, and I walked by and I listened to these teachers teaching. They had, I think if I remember correctly, it was split. They were either in the school teaching or we had the virtual ones. They weren't like it wasn't where a teacher had 10 kids in class and 10 on virtual because that
Right.
nobody can do that. I don't care the best teacher in the world. That is an almost impossible situation trying to get kids in class and then kids in virtual. And so we had those split.
Right.
But I remember the 1920 school year when COVID started and we finished that year. I remember walking by my kids' classrooms and just listening to these teachers still teaching how they would. Like, yes, they had to make changes. Things you're on camera now. Johnny, wake up, sit up. I need you to, get out of your bed, sit at a table. Like they had those challenges and I feel like they rose above and that to me, what I heard during all those is why I was able to fight to get the kids back, kids and teachers and staff and everybody back in school in August. Actually, I think it was September. That's why I was able to fight for that because I was able to see what our teachers did in those short, again, it's just going to be for a week. Oh, it's just going to be for 2 weeks. And then it was 3 months long and they're having to come up with lesson plans and everything. And I had the faith in our admin, our teachers, our cafeteria, our bus drivers, our janitors, everybody. I had the faith in them that they could do it because of what I saw during those first couple months of virtual. And I'm still to this day, I'm glad that I fought for that because I think it probably saved some kids, saved some parents, saved some families. I mean, imagine a family of 5 or 6 at home with everybody's on computers and some of them don't have Wi-Fi. It's just there was just so much to take into account and I wanted them to make their own decision.
Well, and you know what? Our school went and got Wi-Fi for some kids where
Yes.
and
We got devices, we got Wi-Fi, yes.
I mean, I'll tell you what, we really stepped up during
Yep.
COVID. And the teachers, the staff, everybody, it was incredible.
I can't disagree. Or I can't agree more. It was a great for what the situation was, which was absolutely horrible. I think everybody involved handled it well. including parents. I mean, it's not just everybody in the school. There were parents that, I'm helping my son check his email at 6 years old. It's like, I shouldn't have to be worrying about that, but it's what the situation was, and everybody adjusted and handled it, and we got through it. Thank God.
Well, and you were doing it when it was a difficult time.
Yes,
And you know what? It's still tough
it is.
because we still have financial problems. We
Yep.
still have things we need to accomplish going forward. I mean, what's your vision for what we need to do? I mean, what's something you think that would improve the district?
Yeah.
And where do you see us going?
I'm kind of two avenues here, and I'm going to touch on the first one, which really, to me, stems from COVID. We actually lost money because of COVID. We had money that the state came in and said, we're pulling this amount from you, and we're like, why? Like, like there was just no questions about it. They pulled money from us during COVID. So there we are having to fix all that. And then we had the financial situations we had as a district as well. We lost a lot of good teachers. We lost a lot of good staff. We lost coaches. We lost, families that chose even during that tough time to move to another district because of our financial situation. And not only did we lose the teachers, but we lost the classes that goes with those teachers. Yes, we state mandated we have to have math, English, social studies, science. Those you have to have those, or you're not even a school district. You can't even function. But we lost all those other classes that these kids electives that those are the ones that those are the fun ones that you get to sit down and be like, okay, I've got 2 periods to fill, and I can pick from these 6 classes.
That does 3D printing.
3D printing, right? Like those, those are ones that get your kid away from that break of English, math. Those where it's okay. I got a breather of a class here, and we lost so many of those. We lost the teachers, and we lost the classes that went with them, and I want to get all those back. And we need some funding for that. We need our levies to pass, but to get those back, we've got to start thinking. I don't want to use the word replacement. I don't want to replace our teachers now, but we have some, as I said earlier, we're getting close to retirement age. We have a lot of
A huge chunk of our teachers
experienced.
are at the
Yes.
end of their career.
Yes.
The new teachers that are coming, we have to be able to entice them to
Yes.
come to our district, the great ones that we want to spend 25, 30 years
Yep.
being teachers.
I do not want to be a stepping stone for Green or Lake or Macedonia. I don't want to be a stepping stone where it's like, well, I'll go to Springfield for 2 years out of school because they have openings because no one else wants to go there. But I'm going to get my 2, 3 years experience and then I'm out. And that just creates a bad cycle. And I want to be the ones that we're poaching from other stepping stones where they're getting their start and then, hey, I want to go. I want to go teach in Springfield. I want they've got their finances under control. Their athletics are coming back up. We've hit a bottom with so many things because of financially and because of COVID that we are still trying to recover from. I heard just recently that our enrollment is on the uptick, which it's been quite a few years consistent of the downfall of the lower enrollment. And I did hear that we're starting to see an uptick in that, which tells me that people are moving back in or moving into the district. And I want to see that continued. We've got to get our teachers, we've got to get some teachers back in on the lower end. With that can come classes, and those kids, those 2020 kids, they lost a lot.
Well, and people don't think about it. When somebody open enrolls somewhere else, the money that would have gone to that district goes with them.
Yep.
So we have to fight to
It's
keep our
twofold.
kids here so
Yes.
we can build the district in a way that retains people and attracts teachers and talent.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so tired of hearing, well, oh yeah, this kid went to Lake, and this girl went to Mogador, and this one went to Field or whatever. I don't want to drive through the district and see my kid's a senior at Field and my kid's a senior at Lake. I don't want to see that in our district. That's not what I want. I want to get back to where maybe we're drawing kids from other ones, but we need to do some work academically, building wise, athletically. We need to do some things that are going to draw those families in. And I think we can do it. We just got to get we got to get these 2 levies passed. That's number one. And then I think we can start making some longer term plans here.
So I think I hear you saying that you want to build something that people can take pride in and want to stay here.
Yes. Yep. The other side of that, I said I had 2 avenues before. The second one is the district itself. I would love to see Spring Hill, Schropp, Boyer, those buildings are old. I know I've heard stories. We used to have 10 buildings. We had 6 elementaries and 2 middle schools and a junior high and a high school, all these separate buildings. But we're down to 4. We have the junior high school building, which I think was built in 2010. So it's already 15 years old. Like it's all like, that's hard to believe. But Schropp, Spring Hill, Boyer, they're old. And I would love to put a plan together, and I would love to see it come to fruition of a K-6 campus, K-6 building down on Pickle Road where Schropp and Boyer are now. We have the land, we have the space, and I would love to just see a brand new building for those kids to start, because if you really want to draw kids in, you need to draw them in with that kindergarten building, that first grade building, because yes, kids move, people move at all different ages. You're going to move as a 7th grader or a sophomore or something. But if you got a great building for the kids to start their school, like a lot of parents don't think about that. Oh, we're having our first kid, we're going to stay at this house now. But it's that next house they want to move into because the family's expanding. Oh, hey, Springfield. They got a pretty good school system over there. And if you don't have a good school system, it's hard on the community as a whole.
Well, and that's my field is homeownership.
Yes.
When someone is buying a home,
Yep.
they're buying the school district.
Yes.
They're buying the police department. They're buying the fire department.
Yep.
And if we don't have great services for our community, then the home values are not going to keep up. And when you go to sell, that equity that you want, it's not going to be there.
Yep.
If you want that equity in your home, if you want that wealth that comes with
Yes.
homeownership, you need to support your schools. You need to support your police department. You need to support your community.
And everyone knows Summit County came through and upped everybody's values and all that. And it's more property tax 25 years ago ruled unconstitutional, but we're still funding our schools that way. The state of Ohio has to come up. They have to come up with a different, better way to fund the schools, because levies on property taxes is not the way to do it. It hasn't been the way to do it for 25 years when they said they can't do it anymore, but we're still doing it. So a lot of problems there that we need fixed in Columbus, and we need to get them on the right page to fix the funding for local schools.
No matter what we do with taxes,
Yeah.
we always are going to need to find a way to support our kids
Yes.
in our community. And this is
Yep.
it's huge. People don't realize how important it is
Yep.
until people don't want to buy their house.
One thing I tried, I was only on the board for 2 years, but again, we had levies on there. I think we had new money with it failed a couple times. I think we had a renewal that failed. I was able to talk the board into, hey, let's try something different here. And we put a school district income tax on the ballot, which would have avoided Social Security, would not have been part of that. So we hear that a lot of time. I'm on a fixed income, I'm on Social Security, I'm on my pension, this and that. So we put that out there, and it failed as well. And a lot of that is just, you have to be educated on what you're voting on. You can't just, oh, it's a renewal, vote it down. It's a renewal, vote it down. You have to understand what that means, what it means for the district. Like you said, a bad school district is a bad community, is a bad home value, and it's bad all the way around, and it's tough to come back from. So get your school system up, keep it up. It's going to help the community. It's going to help the resale value. So when you do become retired and you want to downsize, you're going to make money off your house and not, take a hit on it because the school system went into the dump. And there's no way around it.
It's huge.
You have to support the schools to have a good community. And I will go to my deathbed saying that.
I'll tell you something that I think is interesting is nobody wants to hear, hey, maybe we should close down a school.
No. Nope.
What you're saying is a difficult thing to say. And I think people at home will appreciate the fact that you're willing to say the hard things,
Yeah.
even if it's uncomfortable.
It is. You were a resource officer at Young School when we closed it, and that was a decision on the board. I will say this: the decision was kind of made for us on the board because the levies didn't pass, and we had to make more cuts. And that was put out there clear as day during that election that, hey, This doesn't pass. These, again, renewals, if these don't pass, we're closing young.
Well, and you know what?
We
That was
weren't.
heartbreaking
It
for a lot
it
of
was
people. It
terrible.
was super
It was
upsetting.
terrible.
But we saved a ton of money
We
every
did.
year now.
Yep.
I mean, that's not just 1 year; it's continuous. I mean,
Yeah. And back to talking a little bit about the K-6 campus down on Pickle, the money we're starting to spend, not starting, the money we've been spending on Schropp and Spring Hill and Boyer for just maintenance to keep them going is going up and up and up and up, and it's going to keep going up. It's not going to go down. The maintenance on those buildings is not going to go
they're
down.
servicing giant boilers from like the 1920s.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know if they're actually 20s, but I mean,
Older.
they're
A
old.
long time.
And
Yes.
the roofs are ancient. I mean,
Yep.
everything in those buildings are ancient. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
you know, the glass in all of those windows are ancient. I mean, everything.
Yes. They need replaced, the buildings. I wasn't in the district real long when the talk about replacing the high school building up there with the new 7 through 12 building. I lived in Lakemore, so I took Sanitarium Road every day to my job and drove by that front facing building that was against Sanitarium Road, and I'm just like, how is it not fallen in yet? How is it still standing? And there were some things that were starting to fall off the building. It was there too long. And I don't want to see that happen to Schropp and Spring Hill, where we are literally band-aiding it to death to keep it alive for these kids. I mean, these kids sitting there in August to start the school year, and it's over 100 degrees in the classrooms with just the heat from the outside. Plus, you've got 25 kids in a classroom and the teacher and everything. And these kids, you can't concentrate. Can you concentrate when you're sweating, just sweat running down your face? Like you can't concentrate. You
Those are
can't learn.
hot.
Yes, yes, you were in them. You were up on the second floor of Schropp, and you were, yes,
Up and down the stairs.
right. There's no elevator, no escalator. Those buildings are hot, and that's not a good learning environment for anybody.
And you said it. People want to be able to take pride in their
Yes.
schools.
Yep.
The appearance of the schools is a factor in
Yes.
how much pride people take in their district. It's not just shallow. It's about being able to build something and take care of it.
Yep. And that K-12 building sits right on Canton Road right now. And I mean, unless you have blinders on, you cannot drive down Canton Road or Sanitarium and not see that building. And it looks good. It's already 15 years old though. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good building. It was obviously long overdue, but we're getting close to the breaking point on those other buildings where they're just, I mean, Roosevelt, when we moved in the district, my daughter's first year kindergarten was in Roosevelt, and that building was, I don't, again, not sure how it was standing. And Sawyerwood, Lakemore Elementary, like all those schools, I know there's the history there, but you don't have to lose the memories. But we need to get those buildings upgraded, and we need it for the district, for the community, for everything. Um, Good schools, you can use the schools as a community. There's a room at the high school called the community room. You're able to use that for a meeting for this or a meeting for that. I know Mogador just put in their big new football facility, and they have a track that communities allowed to walk on. My high school put in a brand new track that where I grew up, and you're allowed to go in and walk on the track. And there's your community bringing people in that, oh, I don't have kids there, but hey, let's go down and walk at the track and things like that. And we need to up the ante on what we do for our students, for our kids.
And a nice track is a draw to
Yes.
the school for people that might not necessarily be involved. Then they'd be more willing to support the school.
Yes. Yep. 100%. Yeah. And like I said, our enrollment's starting to come up. So I think we're starting to pick up a little bit of steam there. We need more. We need those. We need, no pun intended, we need those boilers pumping out steam. Like we need full steam ahead. But there is community support. There's support for the students, for the athletes, for the band. But a lot of that is from within the families that those kids are part of. And we need to expand that. We need to get that full community support where, again, I want grandma Josie that's out there and, hasn't been to a game in 10 years. They're like, hey, it's a nice night. Let's go down to the football game. Hey, it doesn't have to always be, I'm going to watch my niece and nephew. I'm going to watch my grandkids. Just go watch a game. Go enjoy the facilities. Go enjoy the evening. Go watch a good football game. Go watch a good volleyball game. that's what we need to expand on. And I think we're getting there. And I think bringing in some good young families, I think that's going to do nothing but help.
Absolutely. We need more people to want to live in Springfield and to be part of the community.
Yes. Yeah. And we're in a weird, we have the JED, we're in a weird spot where Green has all this industrial, all this commercial money. And, we don't have that. We don't have the big businesses, the big businesses that we just make hundreds of thousands of tax dollars off, and we don't have that. So we are living on, we're living off the community. We're living off everybody within the community, and we have to continue. We have to kill. We have to still support these kids because these kids might be the next president of the United States. They might be the next CEO of Goodyear. Like, who knows what they're going to be? The next doctor, the next HVAC kid that is just killing it, making six figures a year. All of it. We need all of it, and those kids could be there. And I don't want them to not have those opportunities because we live in a community that doesn't support their schools. So we're getting there.
Well, I'll tell
Still
you
some
what,
work to do.
being on the school board is an act of service.
Mhm.
And I appreciate that you are running to serve your community and to have some harder conversations, not just hold a position,
Mhm.
because it's the tough conversations that are going to get us through to build something better than we have now.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the people that do know me, they know I'm outspoken. They know I'll say my piece. I'll say my opinion. I'll give my thoughts on a project or a topic. And I will fight for the kids. And I've done that since I started coaching my kids at 4 years old in baseball and soccer and t-ball and all that. I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to fight for my kids' friends. I'm going to baseball games now. My son Dylan's in high school baseball, and I'm watching him and his friends out there playing that I coached with some of my friends. We coached them. And it's kind of coming full circle now to where I'm not in the dugout, which is hard.
Yeah.
I'm not in the dugout coaching. I'm telling them I might be under my breath. Well, sometimes my wife says not under my breath. Still trying to coach and give some advice, but
Our wives got to keep us in line.
right, it's a different side of things. And I'll tell you what, the other side of that board table, it's not a cakewalk. It's not easy. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of nasty comments. People just think, oh, you're in it for the paycheck.
No, it's not.
It's $125 a meeting. I am not in that position for the paycheck
No.
by any means. So it's tough. I enjoy it. I enjoyed the 2 years I was on it, even though it was fiscal emergency and COVID. I still did enjoy it in the end when I look back because I felt like I went in there and I gave the knowledge I had, the thoughts I had, the ideas I had, and I gave it 100% and put those out there, fought for them. Sometimes my ideas weren't the greatest. The income tax failed at the levy, okay, or at the polls. Okay,
Tried.
it is what it is. We tried something different. We heard over and over again that, I'm retired. I live on a fixed income. Okay, here's an option to maybe help you out and maybe help others. Everybody's paying their fair share that's working in the district or living in the district and working. So tried a couple things that didn't work, tried a few things they did work. And I think that is a good sign of someone that's going to go in there and fight for things for the kids, for the students, for the athletes, for the band members, for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, listen, before we go, please tell anybody that you want to hear your message before the election.
Yep.
What you'd like them to hear.
I would love to have your support at the polls. Like I just said, I'm going to go in and fight for the kids. I'm going to fight for every student, every athlete, everybody in that district, the teachers, the staff, everybody. I'm going to fight for them. I said this before when I ran, and I'm going to say it one more time. If you really feel you have to vote for either me or the levy, vote for the levy. I will gladly sit at home. I will still go to some board meetings and I'll still volunteer in the community. But if you feel like you have to make that choice, which I'm not sure why you really would, but it's either like, I can't vote for Chad, but I'll vote for the levy, please do. I would much rather see those levies pass. If you can vote for two, I would gladly take the vote of support on that, and I will get in there and hopefully take those past levies, take that money, and keep working for the district to get us back to up here where we need to be.
Listen, thank you so much for coming down.
Appreciate it.
Hey, my name is Damiano. I'm a local realtor in the area. I help people buy and sell homes in the Springfield Township area. We want to make this area the best possible place it can be, so it's a good place for homeowners to be. Listen, have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks.
See you again.